Welcome, everybody. I'm Tonya, your host of CoCreative NoCode's Office Hours, episode number 120. We're here with our members, Thomas and Jay and Brittany, and my Kim, and our partners, Justin and Pablo. And we have a special guest today, ROHAN ARUN from CheatLayer, who's going to help us figure out how we can utilize CheatLayer to scrape pretty much any site we want to and pull the data straight into our Bubble apps. So very excited to get started, which we will do right away. Rohan, I actually asked our member Jay to have a use case ready for us, but I realized that you're coming into this maybe not kind of surprised. So I wanted to show you what I was able to do with CheatLayer yesterday, was pull information straight from CheatLayer into an endpoint in bubble.io. And so this was the second one I had done. I just grabbed all of the links off of bustle.com, their like homepage, and pulled them in 165 entries, pulled them into Bubble's database. So
cool.
Thought that was pretty cool. It was very simple, very easy to do. So Jay has an app called Garden Brain, and she is looking up information on various, is it seeds or something else, Jay?
Seeds, plants, anything like that.
Okay. Yep. And so she's wanting to pull some information into her Bubble app. So I'm here to help with the Bubble stuff. And then I think you can help us with the CheatLayer stuff. So Jay, if you want to tell me which site it is you wanted to pull information from, that's probably the best place to start.
Okay, I'm putting the link in the chat, and there it is.
All right.
So from here, we want to, I don't know, I didn't know if you wanted a specific item or if you wanted, so you have to go to plants.
Okay.
And then from there are all these options. And I don't know if we're supposed to click down into it to gather what CheatLayer needs, or if we can start from this master page.
Yeah, let's just,
go
ahead.
We can start from this master page. So a common pattern we see is users going to like the searches of a website like Amazon or Zillow or eBay, for example, and then creating one script to scrape the links on that page, and then another script to run a scraper on each one of the links. And this is something you can ask GPT-3 to do using natural language. You can say, for example, collect all the links on the page that include a certain attribute. Do you have the latest version of GPT-3, by the way, or CheatLayer?
Oh, I don't know. How would I check?
1.5.2. We recently updated. I would just make sure.
How would I check?
Right click on the extension, or go to Chrome:// extensions in a new tab, or right click on the extension and click manage extensions.
There you go.
Yeah, and then click, yeah, cool, that's good. That's the latest version. Okay, and so when you open the CheatLayer extension, it's going to open this editor that lets you interact with the page and run scripts on a page. And this lets you automate anything on this website. We're not going to generate, we're going to try and use a new no code feature right now. So let's try.
I saw that earlier this morning. I was kind of excited about it. So
yeah, I wonder if it'll work here. let's try that. So let's click the handwriting icon.
There we go.
Okay, so one of the things we can do is, not everyone knows how to code or what the jargon is. And we have this feature that allows you to generate code by asking OpenAI GPT-3 natural language questions. And it sort of figures out what you want and generates working code for you. But in order to do that, you still need to know what to ask it. So if you're not a coder, you kind of don't know what a class or a span or link is. And so we built this tool that interfaces with GPT-3 and figures out what to ask it just based on what's on the page. And so that you can hover over things like this, like we've done here. And it'll tell you what the underlying element is in code. And for example, we're hovering over, I guess, product item, botanical name. Cool, so this must be like the genus species or something of the plant, right? And so this element type is a P, that's a paragraph, and the specific attributes are class. And we can use this to inform what to ask GPT-3 if we don't know how to code ourselves. But we've also built this extra interface where you don't even need to type. We just we can try something like holding Shift Enter. You can try that if you want.
Okay, Shift Enter.
Cool. And then let's try print to web console to see if it gets it. And then so what it does is it kind of pre-fills what to ask GPT-3, even if you don't understand how to code or what the jargon is. And then so we just have to press OK here. Oh, that's not good.
I saw this yesterday on office hours, actually, and I just did the same thing again and it worked. So maybe what I do here is I'll just delete this.
Oh, you know what? This is some websites prevent this. Can you open the CheatLayer website and ask the same question?
Sure.
Or let me try it alone. I can try it myself.
Oh, did you want to share your screen?
1 second. Let me check that it's working. Yeah, it's working on mine. So what we can do is some websites have like security features that prevent it from running. So what you can do is you can pick out what it wants you to generate and then run that on another website and then paste it back in. And so can you do that again? Can you do the Shift Enter?
Sure.
Yeah. On the
oh, on the, yep, hover over. Sorry.
It's okay.
Let's see here. So here.
Or whatever
That's
we
where it
want
is.
to pick out. Maybe the name first, or that's good. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So
And Shift Enter.
Enter, and then it's
And
going
then-
to give me
Yeah,
this,
and then
I'll
send
copy
that, copy
this.
that, and then can you send that to me somehow?
Sure. I'll send it in the chat here in Zoom.
Oh, is it in the chat? Oh, I see. This is a website I can go to as well. We can usually fix this if we figure out what the website is. They have some kind of security that blocks it, but we have to explicitly figure out what it is. So I'll just generate it for you.
Sure. I'm going to try it again though, because yesterday when I saw that same exact thing happen, it worked the second time I tried it.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. See, now it'll work.
Oh.
So it didn't work the first time, Tonya, and you just tried again and it just did.
And then it worked. Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, okay. I generated the same thing. I guess you can run it. That's interesting.
Yep.
I'll have
You
to
can
try
see
it on this
it
website
works
and
this
see why
time.
it's doing that. But okay, so what I would do is hover over the run button and then click run. Okay, cool. And then so at the bottom in the console, if you scroll through that, you kind of see that it's gotten all the product botanical names.
Mhm.
And so what we want to do next is possibly scrape it to Google Sheets or something. Or no, well, we want to open these. Do these open into
Yes.
pages that have more data?
Yes.
Okay, so let's maybe let's try the Shift Enter on the link.
Okay.
Or let's try to hover over the link first. Yeah.
So I
Okay.
think this is, yep.
Yeah. Now let's try Shift Enter. And then let's do run code on link. And click OK. Can I, let's wait for this to generate. That's interesting that it did the second time. Okay, could you scroll down the page so I can see how many there are? Just
Sure.
to make sure there's not too many. Okay, that's
Yeah, it's
enough. Okay, cool.
paginated, so it's good.
Okay, cool. So we would maybe normally add like a delay here, but we can just run this and test what it does just to see what it does.
So
So if it's paginated, it will only get stuff from this page, and then how do you, is there a way to get to the automatically get the rest of them?
Yeah. So this is a common pattern. So once we get this script, what we do is we use this script to find the links on this page. Then we write another script to scrape each page in each one of those links in a new tab. And then we write another script to run this script on each page on the search. And there's usually a couple different ways, depending, because websites seem to design their pagination slightly differently sometimes. Sometimes they include it in the URL. Sometimes you have to click the link. And so we'll figure it out when we get to that. So let's do this step first. I would just let's run this. Let's see what it does. Cool. Yeah, that seems right. Okay, so what it's done is it's gotten all the links on the page and opened them in new tabs. And I think these are all the different. Yeah, these are all the different product pages, I think I'm going to call them. And so it'll automatically close after it ran a script, but we didn't give it a script to run. So we can go back to the original page. It did what we were expecting it to do. And so now what I would do is I would save this script. You can call it Monrovia or whatever you want to call it is fine. And then maybe monrovia.com here. Yeah. Cool. I can't see because Zoom is blocking my, hold on, let me sec. Okay, there. Okay, yeah. It's saved there. Okay, cool. Now what we'll do is we'll write the script that runs on each product page.
Where do you see it saved? I'm sorry. I hope you don't mind if I interrupt. I'm really interested.
It's okay. It's over. It's in the right here.
Oh, I see it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I had to move my Zoom window to find it. So yeah, and so as soon as you hit save, it'll save it to your cheat list on the right-hand side. We have a built-in library of pre-built scripts for things like scraping stuff from Amazon or Zillow that you can get from our website, and you just push a button and it'll add it to your list. So you don't have to start empty like that. There's stuff that works out.
It closed all of those by itself, by the way. I didn't do that for anybody who was watching. It opened all of those links and then it closed all of those links by itself.
Yeah, that's intended. Yeah, so that's basically what it does is if you ask it to run a script on a link, it will either run inline code that you can write yourself, or you can supply any one of the names of any generated script. So we haven't written any code yet. We've just been generating it so far. So we could just save another script, and then in where it says where it gives you the option to put the code to run, we can put the name of the script that we've saved. And so in that way, we don't actually write any code. We just generate it and kind of save it. And so let's do the next step. So let's click on one of these links. And so what kind of data do we want to get on this page, I guess? Yeah, that's good.
The name, the botanical name, the description, the zones, the light needs, the water needs, and there's more down below, the height, the spread, pretty much everything.
Let's just start with the,
yeah,
let's start with the name and this. So, and the, what did you call it? The name and the what name?
Botanical name.
Botanical name.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's like the genus and species. No, that's not right. That's just like
it is. We used to call them Latin names, and I think they call them scientific names, and I guess they're botanical names now. I don't know. Okay. I just like pretty flowers.
So I'm going to go over into bubbles. So this is where the bubble part comes in. So I'm going to go into the bubble, and I'm going to do a data type, and I'm going to say plants. And in here, I'm going to say name of type text, and then here botanical name also of type text. Then I'm going to go into my settings, into my API. I don't know if this part is required or not. Maybe Justin or Pablo could answer this, but just have to find plants. I don't know if I have to click that to expose it to the data API, but now I'm going to create the endpoint that we're going to hit. So come in here. We'll call it plants endpoint. Wait, just to make it easy so we don't have to worry about authenticating, I'm just going to expose everything and then I'm going to detect data request. And this is going to give us our initialize endpoint here.
Oh,
and
that's
then
really
this is
cool.
what we can paste into our CheatLayer script. So yeah, so now we can go back to CheatLayer.
And that just fills your database in Bubble?
Yep. So
Okay.
I still have to write an action for it, but this is how we initialize that endpoint. And then what I'll do is, well, I'll cancel this for the moment. And in here, I'll just say to create a new thing, and we'll create a new plant.
And I think to answer your question, Tonya, I think because you're doing this, you don't need to expose the data API because you're creating the things actually inside Bubble. If
Okay, got it.
We're creating them like outside.
Then I would have to do that. Okay, yeah. So yeah, so now we can initialize, and once we initialize, it'll tell us what's going to come in from CheatLayer. We can ignore what we don't need, and then match up what we do need. So
Okay.
yeah,
Let's try that. Okay.
so
yeah, do you want to try it?
Yeah, let me see if I can do it, and then you can help if I.
Yeah, this one might be hard. I think sometimes they're like ambiguous with the automated version, and we had a user in the Facebook group suggest a useful feature actually to allow us to select which selector that we use in this step. So you can see right here, there's two selectors. There's one for class and one for data UID. On this one, I might actually use data UID because page title wrapper seems more explicit than base, but you can try it to see what happens. If it doesn't work, we can just ask. This step is supposed to help you inform what to ask GPT-3 if it fails anyway, so we can try it.
Okay, got it. Okay, so let's see if should I try this shift enter thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so shift enter, and then I want to, what is it, run code?
Let's try console just to see if it gets it,
Okay.
just so we can see it printed on the console. And then next we can try sending it to, I guess, Google Sheets, and then you can put in your webhook instead.
Okay, got it. So.
Yeah, that looks okay. Wait, I think, yeah, let's try that, yeah.
And then run. Yep, that's what we wanted.
Great. Okay, that was easy. Okay,
Yeah.
so we can try sending it to. Oh, do you want to get both of them and then send them both? Okay, so let's try saving it to a variable next.
Okay, I don't know how to do that.
We can use the shift enter. That's another feature of the shift enter interface. So let's close the editor, please, and then hover over the name.
Oh, so just do it again. Okay.
Yeah. But this time, oh, sorry. Cancel out of that.
Sure.
I don't know. Okay, yeah. And let's hover over the name again. Oh, or that's okay. We can do this one. Okay, so this time let's do save to a local variable. And so if we go to the end of the prompt it's generated, if you can kind of scroll to the end, please. You see it says save to a local variable. In this step, we can actually give it a variable or it can guess the variable. So let's let it guess and click OK. But if you want, you can explicitly also give it what variable to save it as so you can remember it. And if you do that, then you don't have to look into the code later.
Oh, okay.
Loving this no-code code.
No-code code.
Yes.
Okay, so if you see it saved it as a botanical name, and now let's get
that's perfect.
The actual name. Let's hover over the sorry, close the editor, and then hover over the name.
This one and do the same thing.
Yeah, and then save it as a variable. We could technically send GPT-3 the code and ask it to figure out the variables, but we're kind of at the limit of our prompt for OpenAI. And so that's kind of like, so the more you teach it, the more you have to include in the API call each time, and the more you have to pay each time. And we're kind of at the total limit that they even let you get through, I guess, send them. So we can't really we have to be more creative now. So this looks good. Okay. And so now what I would do is, in the next step is, let's ask GPT-3 explicitly by hovering over the run button and generate.
Before you do that, do you mind if I ask? So in the up where you did the variables for the botanical name, I see where it says var botanical name. Is this one var base no product? Is that this variable? Okay, just checking. All right, go ahead.
So when we asked it for to save it as a variable, you can actually at the end of that request pick your own name, say whatever you want, like dog or whatever, and then that way you don't have to look at the code, and you'll just know that it'll pick dog. Okay. And so in the next step, just remember what you picked, I guess. And then so what we would do now is we would hover over the run button, and we're going to try and send it somewhere. So let's generate GPT code. We've only trained the GPT prompt. So we've trained the GPT prompt to understand our built-in library for things like sending it to webhooks, downloading files. Sorry, I'm wondering what my dog is eating. And so and things like that. And so it's able to do these things that instantly work out of the box when it generates. And so it does not understand what your bubble webhook is yet. So we're going to have to paste in the webhook.
I just said webhook, and then I pasted it. Yep.
That's okay.
Exactly.
But so what we'll do is we'll just ask for Google Sheets, and then we'll paste in the webhook. So what we'll say is send botanical name. It's, as you can see, it's spelled there, all one word.
Oh, with the dash where it's
without
indexing,
a dash.
it's
camel
okay.
case, I guess, with a botanical capital.
Send botanical
yeah, that's
name.
Good. Space and then base and base.
And base. Okay.
To Google Sheets. Okay, let's scroll down and see.
And this is what I need to replace.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I guess I would replace the webhook there. Yeah.
So just double check and make sure. So here, like that.
Yeah, and it seems to have gotten a little confused. So, okay, so if you have errors in your code and the GPT-3 gets confused, you can send it to us, and we can debug it and things like that. Okay. See where it says botanical name in the code generated.
Here.
It's kind of hard to see. Sorry. Below that.
Here.
There you go.
Yeah. So what it's supposed to say is botanical name and then colon botanical name, not input text, whatever that is.
Okay.
And then in this next step, base as well.
And I need to keep I don't need these brackets. Okay. So.
And there's yeah, that and there's a extra inner text. You can delete that too. Thanks. We can try asking. I'm curious why I did. Let's try asking it again. Can we do run and hover over GPT-3?
Do this again?
Yeah. Can we try? I wonder if it's like. Let's try send the variables with a capital S, just in case it's like confused or something.
Oh, so send.
And it's like not a new sentence. Send the variables botanical name and base to Google Sheets and period at the end. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Try okay. Can we see what it generated? Okay, cool. That's what we were supposed to get.
Okay,
That's
got it.
interesting. So
Can you-
I guess
can you-
sometimes it gets confused if it's not like proper grammar, or it's not exactly how we've trained it. So you kind of have to know, until we keep training it, what all the jargon is, or more people give us like edge cases. So if you don't get like if it doesn't look right, I guess if it doesn't work, try to like get proper grammar in your question, and then it'll usually work. And we'll try to stick to proper grammar in our prompt, and so that way you can kind of stay consistent. And we kind of, I guess we have to do that until we get access to OpenAI Codex. We can delete the last code that we just generated. That's kind of useless.
Okay.
all of the, yeah. Oh wait, no, I would keep that up to generated script ID 3 from generating GPT code.
So take this or no?
No.
This.
Yeah, and then the bracket underneath that as well.
And then an extra bracket. Okay. Here. And then this one bracket
No.
here.
Yeah, well, I guess that would work. Yeah, that's fine. That works too. Okay, cool. Sorry, this is supposed to be no code, right? And so we can scroll down.
No, it's
And so, I
okay.
mean, I guess if it doesn't work, we just have to ask GPT-3 better.
We
grammar.
are all experienced with asking Bubble to do things in a billion different ways until it works. So it's fine.
Yeah, well, and also we're also waiting to release something called Codex, which is much more powerful at generating random requests.
Okay.
It can kind of generate games and websites and things, and almost anything, even malicious code. And that's kind of why it's taking a little bit longer to release. But GPT-3 is a lot more limited, so it can understand what we've trained it to do. So I would stick to what we've trained it to do so far in our examples. And so, okay, but this is good. Let's try running this. If we were like, if we got it exactly right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So we're going to run it.
Okay.
And if I go here, it should receive what CheatLayer is sending it in a moment.
Oh yeah, there's a timer on the script, so it's going to take like 10 seconds and then run it.
That's fine. It's not a big deal. I just always like watching stuff come into this. It's like magic to me. So there we go. So we have botanical name and we have base. Perfect. That's what we want. So we'll save this.
Just when people had lost faith. Bah, there it
Yeah,
appears.
and then it works. Yeah, and so then the next piece is I just have to take this initialized piece off of the endpoint.
Oh, that's just for testing.
Yep, that's just for initializing. And once it's initialized, you can take that part off and then we can save it. So if we're ready to save it.
Cool. Yeah, we can save it. I would click just save instead of save as if we, oh no, we just should, yeah. We haven't saved it yet, so it'll ask you the name anyway. So
okay.
I guess product scraper or plant scraper or whatever. Yeah.
Plant. Cool. Yeah, so plant names.
Yeah, short is easier because we have to type it again.
Oh, do we? Okay.
Yeah.
So
But it's okay.
Monrovia plants.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, and this is
Good.
okay.
Cool. Now let's try. Can we run it and see what the output is on your end?
Yes. So let's
Yeah,
run it.
Yeah. Oh, we want to remove hello world maybe.
I'll edit it.
Yeah, that's okay.
So let's just take, is it from here or no?
The whole line is
here.
technically, yeah.
We'll
Or
just
just that.
miss that.
Yeah.
Cool. And then I'll just save. And then if I go into the data here and I look for all plants.
Is it like a Firebase
just plants.
or your own Firebase? That's kind of cool.
Oh, I know what I forgot to do. So we'll run it again. Is I have to put this is request data is base and request data is botanical name. And now if I run it, it should work. So let me go here and run. And then if I go back into data and refresh.
Oh, it takes 10 seconds.
Yeah, no worries.
We can remove the timer if you want.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We've got 10 seconds. It's not a big deal. like waiting 10 seconds yesterday for these scrapes. I got 349 entries in a matter of like less than a minute. It was great. So not a big deal. Yep, look, see already. So
Cool.
we've got the botanical name and the name.
All right, now let's try going back to the search.
Going back to, oh, the original page.
Yeah, the
So-
search page where we found this one, I guess.
I think we were here and then plants.
So what you guys just did was the second script.
Exactly.
And now we're going to go above it and we're going to say, here's how you find the second script, and then it'll execute on everything.
Yep. So remember when it opened all of the
Yeah.
15 tabs? So we'll
Yeah,
open
yeah.
we'll open the 15 tabs and run the script on each of those.
I am so excited right now.
Are you?
Yeah, it's kind of fun when it works too, because especially when it's a new website, because that's kind of like our goal is to help people, get automations and fill in the whole gaps between like Zapier and the pre-built solutions that you can't really find online. And so,
Yep.
yeah, this is
exactly.
the fun part.
Cool. So from here, if I go to my cheat list, I have this one to run on here already. So am I editing?
Mhm.
I'm guessing. Okay. And then
Yeah, and I think you know what to do, but basically, yeah, where you say enter code here, replace that with Monrovia
Monrovia.
plants. And then maybe let's save it just in case. And then give it a minute, and then let's edit again. Cool, and then now let's try running this.
okay.
Why
I'm
did
gonna
you
go-
save it and then go back to edit? Was there a reason?
I guess just not to lose it. We could have
Okay.
run it first anyway.
I'm just going to come in here and delete these. So we're starting from scratch. And then here, and then just run.
Look at all the tabs opening. It's amazing.
Okay, come back here and wait for a few seconds and then we'll start.
Do each of these tabs close when the individual tab is completed?
Yeah.
There we go. And you can see that was the one there.
Yep.
That's as cool.
Now, is it only running on that page that we viewed, or have we dealt with the pagination yet, or is that a separate thing?
Just the page that we viewed. We haven't dealt with the pagination quite yet. So, Bubble's just being weird. I'm gonna refresh Bubble.
So we kind of jumped into this, Rohan, and I looked at some of the videos on your site, but this is a browser extension. Is that how we enter, how we begin to communicate with CheatLayer?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
Okay.
it opens on all websites, and we're releasing something called Cheat Cloud this month actually. It allows you to run any of these scripts on our servers instead. And the way it automates currently, it requires your browser to be open, so it opens those tabs using the extension. But when Cheat Cloud is released, you'll be able to run the same scripts, schedule them on our servers. You don't need your browser to be open. Did
that's
it finish
cool.
those scripts? I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't look like it finished. So it did the first one, but it didn't do the other ones.
Maybe let's try removing the delay. Maybe that's somehow interfering with it.
Okay. How do we do that?
Let's edit the Monrovia plant script. And then let's scroll to the bottom. And then
Here.
see the set timeout line, line 30 and 32. Could you delete those? Oh, it's actually 24 seconds. I see. Oh no, sorry, just 32 and just line 30. Yeah. There's a no code editor that lets you set the timer when we generated it, but I guess now we just have to edit it. So we can click save and then, okay, let's try. Yeah, let's try running this one again. Oh wait, can we edit? Let me check that it's saved correctly and then what is this doing? Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's run. Can you check the other tabs and make sure they're actually open? Okay, yeah, they're loading. Yeah, that's fine. This one should be faster because there's no timer. The other one was 24 seconds.
Once it's debugged, man. This is so cool. There we go.
Oh, there's another one.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. What do you think, Jay?
I'm kind of excited, but you know, when I get my hands on it, it won't be so straightforward. I'm going to have problems.
Oh, that's okay. You can screen share with us. So we have this marketplace. So until we launch Codex, which is supposed to be way more powerful, you can kind of Google around and see what it can do. We've launched something called a marketplace that will catch all the things that GPT-3 can't generate. So you can ask custom questions there. And during launch for the first 6 months, we're just building scripts directly for users to help them automate their business. So you can just schedule screen sharing with us. And we'll do something like this and help you set up a custom script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I really
Oh, yeah, no
appreciate
problem.
having you on. And
Do you
there's
mind if
any,
I jump in and ask questions?
Yeah.
Good.
go for it.
So I've been using a number of different scrapers. I've tried ParseHub, Octoparse, and Simple Scraper, and other things. And I'm scraping a bunch of different sites that are similar to the one we're looking at, but a lot of them are not as neatly done as this one. They've got weird things like icons instead of text to tell you like how much moisture it needs. But I'm thinking as I look at this, I can probably mouse over that and find out what that item, what that element is called, and then I can still grow, because my spreadsheets end up with lots and lots and lots of holes.
Hmm.
And this looks like it may be a way to avoid a lot of those holes. Do you
Yeah,
think?
so our general, oh, continue. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I'm sorry, I'm just saying, what do you think?
Yeah. So our goal is to make it so that we can fill in all the jargon and all the coding difficulties. We can not fill them in, I mean, erase them and make them invisible to the end user so that you can sort of request anything that you really want using natural language. And as we get more users and people request more things, we'll figure out what the edge cases where people are failing are and just train the prompt to kind of understand that. So I can say right now it's not perfect. There'll be some holes where the GPT-3 won't be able to generate perfectly working code, but for now we're going to catch all that and just let you can just ask us directly and we'll screen share like this.
That's amazing.
And so it's a good time to join now.
Yeah.
And then in the future, our goal is that hopefully Codex will take over entirely from us. And so it'll be much more scalable.
And when you talk about training GPT, you mentioned using proper grammar. Like if you started out using grammar, would it learn your not so great grammar, or does it already know proper English?
Yeah, so it's kind of trained to understand proper English, and so if you say something weird, it might get confused, or it might think you intend something different, and so that's kind of part of the nuance in training the prompt. It is able to understand slight variations in things. Like if we didn't use like capital letters or periods, for example, it would still get it in some cases, but in some cases it might think that you're explicitly trying to teach it something. It might think that you're like trying to chain together multiple sentences. And that's why in that case, in that example, I think it actually tried to make it into a larger script. And so when we actually put a period in there, it kind of gave it its own self-contained code that worked properly.
You know, there's a lot of beauty in that. I used to be a grammar instructor.
Oh, cool.
And the idea that grammar, like, you know, that sentences are containers that hold pieces of a thought, and altogether they're, you know, an umbrella thought. And then you have a period to say, here comes a new idea. That's so easy to understand.
Well, the reason it's doing this is because it was actually trained on all the available written knowledge that we have on the internet and that we've recorded in history. And so most of most of what's been recorded that we've gotten has been luckily proper English or proper grammar. But it does get some of the failures of the model is that that it has gotten bad at context or like tone, like it's some kind of it's sometimes racist or something if you ask it certain questions. And so OpenAI actually had to explicitly implement content moderation for this because the internet itself was kind of poorly generating poor data for it to learn from, basically. Do you understand?
Yeah. And what about people who are not English speakers? Can they still use CheatLayer if they're, you know, Spanish speakers or Japanese speakers?
That's a good question. I think yes, it does do translations. That's one of the things it can do. But for our use case, it's mostly you kind of have to rely on what the websites are written in. Yeah, and so most websites, I think it seems we've helped users globally. Most websites luckily seem to use English conventions, but that's not the case everywhere.
What do you think, Jay?
I'm impressed, and I'm looking forward to trying it. I'm going to sign up this afternoon.
Is AppSumo the only place you can go right now to buy CheatLayer?
Yeah, currently. So what we're trying to do is AppSumo is a really good place to get feedback from users because the users are really willing to work with founders and even on early products and give them great advice and feedback on features that they definitely need. And usually the users who are seeking these early products actually need them for their business and their livelihood. So they're willing to work with these early products. And so they're giving us great feedback. So for the first 6 months, we're exclusively AppSumo, and then we'll be allowing subscriptions and marketplace. And at that point, we also have some investors who are interested, and so they want a better business plan anyway. And so we're they're actually not happy that we're going into AppSumo, but we've decided to focus on it because they've treated us well.
Oh, that's
when you say 50 code generations per month, what is that? What's a code generation consist of?
So when we were asking GPT-3 there, like when we were shift entering and things, every time you generate, you ask GPT one thing, that's one code generation, but then you can, whatever script you generate, you can run an unlimited number of times, and then you can install the extension in an unlimited number of places.
So for a page like the one that we looked at, which had like probably 12 or 14 kinds of information, is that 14 different code generations?
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
Okay. What if you're a one-time purchase, lifetime member deal, you've gone the highest level and you run out?
You get every month. It resets every month.
Okay. And what are the credits for the automation marketplace? What does that mean?
Oh, okay, so this isn't really useful yet because during launch, we're just building scripts for all users for free. But after that, we'll have this marketplace where we're going to advertise it to freelancers to allow them to build it for you and make money off building these scripts for you as a marketplace. And so you can request any custom script. If you can't get GPT-3 or Codex to generate it for you, any custom problem that you bug script that you need fixed on the marketplace, and your credits are how you'll pay for that. So it's kind of like an auction system. So you could say 50 credits for this simple script or 200 credits for something that takes a few hours, for example. And we see most of these scripts take usually 1 to 3 hours for most users. for most websites that we've done so far in the first like month and a half of launch. And so it could cost anywhere from, I guess, $50 to $200 for most of these.
1 to 3 hours to create.
Yeah, it seems, yeah. Oh, if it's possible. Some things aren't possible. For example, some things are like outside of the security of the browser sandbox. So like we can't access the files on your computer to scrape that stuff. And some websites explicitly try to have security. And in order to actually get approved by OpenAI, we had to implement some security features to prevent malicious code on sensitive websites like banks and financial websites. So it won't run on some banks and financial websites, for example.
And can it deal with PDFs?
Oh, no. So it can't really, we can download PDFs. I think we've had this question before. So the PDFs don't have like HTML in them that we can scrape, but this is something that we've considered. We can do like a screenshot of the page and then like save that, but and then like parse that in some kind of third-party API that does computer vision, for example, and we could set up that API, for example, but it doesn't exactly allow scraping HTML elements because they're not HTML. But there are other ways that we could figure out how to do it. Not now, right? Not it's I would add this to our roadmap. It's not something we can do currently.
And then for unstructured data, can it search for? Can you tell it to search for keywords or find certain information?
Yeah. So there's a trick where I guess you can search for like the paragraphs on the page that include an inner text that includes like AI or natural language, for example, and then it'll use that as the filter. And inner text is this this code concept that takes all the elements on the page and whatever text is inside them. It allows you to filter based on that. So you can we've used this example. You can ask GPT through that. It seems to understand that.
Amazing.
So I was just going to point out that I tried to scrape this and it can't get these links because this isn't a link. This is attached to a workflow. So I wasn't able to get the links here. And this is written in, this is bubble, right? So if I went
Can we try hovering over it just to see what it is?
Yeah. So when I clicked over here, or sorry, I should not do that. So here, but this is itself, it's not a link. But when I click on it from Bubble, it's a link. It opens up the Loom video.
Oh wait, so what do you want to? You want to click this?
Yeah. So if I was trying to take each of these links, because each one of these lines represents a Loom video, and if I was trying to grab it, wasn't when I said no matter what I was trying to say to GPT-3, it wasn't recognizing it.
Oh, because it's not a link. What happens when you click it?
When you click it, if I click, it opens up a Loom link.
Yeah. So some websites do these things where they kind of hide it behind JavaScript. It technically should always be possible to figure out like some way to hack it, but it just gets like so impossibly hard in some cases that it's not worth the time. And so,
so I just went to a place I knew where I could grab the links instead, and it worked fine. It was fine.
Oh, I see.
But yeah.
Cool.
So with the $99 membership, I can have unlimited users. So I can give my VA my access code or whatever it is, and she can put it in her browser and do my stuff.
Yeah, you can install it an unlimited number of times. And in the future, we're going to add seats for each code that you purchase. It's not implemented in our website yet. So then if you have like a team, you can share your scripts and work together on scripts and pick which scripts each member can see and things like that. And you can share free for each code that you get, you can share a free account with them. And it's basically free anyway, but you can just, give them access to your code.
Does it, when looking at the code that was generated in the script, there was some changes you made, but I wouldn't be able to make them because I don't know JavaScript. So does it make sense for someone who really has a lot of scraping to do to go under? I mean, I think the answer is probably yes. Go take some rudimentary JavaScript classes and at least understand the structure.
Yeah, so there are some examples on our website we show you where you can do entirely without editing anything. And in this case, if we had like written in proper grammar the first time, we wouldn't have had to edit. I don't think. would we have had to edit anything?
No,
Oh, we
we
would have to
didn't-
edit the replacing the webhook. That's the thing we would have to paste in. So yeah,
Yeah.
it does generally help. So our hope is that we can eventually help everyone who doesn't understand code at all. But it seems like the people who understand a little bit are some users are using it to learn to code because you can kind of lean on it to generate working stuff in the browser that instantly you can run and like it does useful things for you. So that's kind of exciting. And so some users are using it to figure out more things to do, like you learning to code so they can figure out more interesting things to do with the tool. And so actually one user is trying to showing it to his kids so they can use it to learn to code, which is kind of cool because they're more interested in it because they can actually do useful things like hack
Right.
websites and stuff like that. And so,
Go ahead.
oh, and so basically, if you can't figure anything out, we're always here to help with any bugs. You can just send it to us, and when we eventually do release OpenAI Codex, the hope or goal is that you don't have to worry about that. It should just generate anything for you.
And then one thing we didn't touch on was the pagination. Just conceptually, how do you get to the next page?
Oh yeah, we can do that. So let's try closing the editor. And then let's see, can we maybe click on the next page and see what it looks like on the URL? Okay, cool. So and this one's easy. So websites are sometimes designed differently and they make this hard, like in the example that Tonya showed with Bubble, where they hide it behind JavaScript. But in this one, they make it easy because they've encoded the page on the URL. So I'm sure if we put 3 or 4 and at the end of that URL and pressed enter, it would go to the 3rd or 4th page.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so then what I would do is I would write another script. I have to go in like 5 minutes, I guess. So we maybe don't have time to write this one, but you can definitely schedule a meeting with us after you set it up and we can help you do this part. And so I would write another script basically to loop through the numbers 1 through, I guess, 15 as the total, maybe 10. I don't know how many pages there are. And then add it to this URL.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm guessing this is
1,000, 5,000. Okay. We
yeah,
might want to
there's
add.
a lot.
So when we do it, we can also go over complex, more advanced things like adding a timer. You can ask GPT-3 to delay things by like 10 or 20 seconds, for example. So you won't do all 5,000 at the same time, and that might crash your computer. So you wouldn't want to do that. But basically, what you want to do is you can see in the URL, it encodes the page in the URL. I would copy that, paste it into the loop, add the number of the loop into the URL, and then do this run on tab function. So we can ask GPT-3 loop through the numbers 1 to 5,000 and run a tab on them. And then we would just paste this URL right before the number. And then it would open this, each one of those pages in a new, we would also say run a tab on them in 10 seconds so that it adds a timer. And then what it would do is it would open each one of these searches in a new tab, run a script on them, sorry. It would open each one of these scripts, each one of these pages in a new tab. And then if we supply the name of our search, Monrovia, I guess, script in the run on tab function, it would run the second script that we wrote, the search script, right, yeah, on each one of these search pages. So it would be like a 3 script automation. Yeah, and then so one of them would just open each search page. The second script would run the scraping of links on each search page, and then the third script would finally do the sending of data to Bubble or Google Sheets. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. You're very generous with your time.
Yes.
No problem.
Thank you for being here. And what we're going to be, well, first, if you have enjoyed this, go buy CheatLayer. Just do it. It's awesome. And then second, we'll be syndicating this on YouTube, and I'll send you the link, Rohan, so you can make it available to other people if you'd like.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I was interested in how you set up that bubble. That might be something we could show users that might be interested in doing. I appreciate it. And I was happy that this demo actually worked out. They don't always work out live. So this is
Well, that's why I went in yesterday just to make sure. I was like playing around with it just to make sure we were gonna have something to show, and it was fine. I didn't know about, I don't know, I've been speaking English for, I don't know, a good amount of years now, 40 or something like that. And I didn't know to capitalize and put a period at the end of my sentence. So now I know.
It helps, yeah.
Thank you so much. And yeah, well, but I'm sure Jay will be in touch and others as well as they're getting started with CheatLayer. Excited for the new changes. So thank you so much.
Cool, I appreciate it. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much, Rohan. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Pablo.
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
And I want to hear about Codex.
Yeah, Codex is cool. We'll have to explore that more when it
I was
becomes
asking,
available. You're breaking up pretty bad, Thomas. I'm not sure what's going on.
sorry for so.
What was that?
That's very weird. Okay, we missed what you said, Thomas. Maybe
I'm on the move right now, guys. So I'm sorry. I might sound a little off my mic.
Okay.
I was just saying it would be really cool to hear more about Codex. It sounds like a very fascinating idea and what they intend to do
Yes.
with it.
I don't even know what it is. Let's see. Let's see here. Codex. OpenAI Codex. That's what he was talking about. I don't know why Google like switches me to dark mode sometimes. I don't like dark mode. Like, don't change my interface. OpenAI Codex. We're releasing it through API. Starting today, August 10th. GitHub Copilot. That's cool. Yeah. So I know a lot of different bubblers have been making things with GPT-3. So, and I think GPT-3 is also an OpenAI thing. So.
This might sound like a silly question, but this is kind of like talking about the web scraping as well. So it's kind of on that theme.
Sure.
I was just wondering, Jay, have you gone through like Google Sheets, like import XML feature to like try to import already?
No.
Because it is built in and it is free. It's not as robust, obviously, as CodeLayer or CheatLayer, but it is simpler and it does go faster. So I could show you how that works. I actually just scraped all the info from that page. And
What?
Yeah.
Please share your screen, please.
Yeah, I'll share that as well.
I will stop sharing. You can share.
Okay. So this is actually something that Pablo and I tried to do on another project a while ago, but we actually did so many searches on the page that they thought we were DDoS attacking them.
Oh.
So you have to be careful. You have to be careful with how you set this up, or you could take the website down potentially for a little bit, and that's what happened with us.
We don't want that.
Yeah. So as you're doing it, be very careful. But basically, there's a feature you just do equals import XML, and what that does is it's going to actually use the Google servers to visit that page. It's going to find the XPath of the element that you want in the language that you want, and then it'll return the data. So for example, so what I did here was I took that shop page and I'm searching for the XPath right here. And if you don't know what an XPath is, you can actually get an XPath. So for example, I'm on this Lucerne blue-eyed grass page here. Let's say that I want to grab the garden style. All you have to do is right click and click expect, and it will bring you down to the section where that is. You can right click it and then do copy XPath. And so once you grab the XPath, sometimes it takes a little kind of like maneuvering. Like you can see, like there's the XPath for what I need to grab. So I actually figured out, for example, botanical pronunciation. If I wanted to find, let me copy this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab the URL from here. Let me explain this one step at a time. Let me come back to here. So if I go back to that find a plant page, where's that? That's on the shop, right?
There you go.
Right here. So if we have, for example, like we want to take all the names, maybe we want to take all the pictures, we can also take the pictures. So if you right click it and you click inspect, you're going to find the image, and you can copy the XPath. You can copy the full XPath if you just want that one image, or you can copy the XPath if you want all of the other ones. And what we do, let me just paste.
You mean
over
all
right
the other
here.
ones on the page versus that single one, or what do you mean?
Yes, yeah, all the ones on the page.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is here, let me bring that over. Okay, so import XML. So I'm looking at that page, the shop page. And then this is where the XPath goes. You can see the XPath query. And so that XPath that I just copied, you can put that XPath within here that I just copied. It puts double quotes. So you have to replace them with single quotes sometimes. Sometimes it'll tell you that the imported content is empty, and that's just how some websites set up their data. But with a few image searches, you can be like, okay, I know that the class right here is product photo, product item photo. So what I'm going to do here is let me copy and paste that for a second so that I can grab this. So this code right here, it's going to search the page for any place where it contains the class and whatever the class is, and it's going to return that information. So if I put that in here, and I hit enter, remove that, I can put in that code, that item photo, that code there. And then it's going to take a second to reload. It was not expected because it would overwrite something in C1. So let's move that over. Buy online. So we don't want to grab the buy online. I'm just showing you how to grab something like that. So what we actually want is, like, once we find the element that has a class, we want the image source, which is the image, right?
Yeah.
So you can find, there's a lot of people who post about this, so you can Google to figure out, but you just put a slash, and then we want the image, and then we want the source. And then that will give you all of the pictures. And the cool thing about Google Photos, you can actually Google Sheets, is that you can put it in like that. But anyway, we'll just leave it the way it was with the import XML, and you have all the links to the photos now, so they can be dynamically put into your database. But yeah, import XML is super important. Like, for example, this is grabbing all of the data on page 2. If I want to grab all the data on page 3, I just copy that exact query and do page 3, and then it will not open any new tabs or anything. It'll just grab that info for you. And then if I want page 4, just change it to page 4. And you said there's like thousands of pages.
Yep.
So you can just set up, it looks like they have a set amount. So you can actually just copy down. If we do this, so equals, let's say 5, or what is this, page 4. You can use like Google's built-in like counting feature in order to kind of automate this, where you like, and sometimes it works, sometimes you get the idea, right?
Yeah, I do get the idea.
And so you would go down, and then you would reference that in where the P equals 4, you'd reference that cell, and then you go down, and then you could copy all of that data very, very quickly. It is a free way to do that. And then you can also grab information from each specific page, because we can grab the link from the search, and then we can grab all of the different data from it. Like, this is grabbing the botanical pronunciation. We could also grab, if I click on this, like something might be the watering needs, for example. So I inspect, I grab, okay, watering needs, whatever element has watering needs, that's what I'm going to grab from that page. change that to watering needs. And then I just copy and paste it down, and then it just reads them off all of those pages like that.
So where did you get, if you go back to the A1,
Mhm.
or I'm not sure, I think that's where you were. Yes, okay, where it's green after the HTML dot, where it says contains class product, and where did you just know that, or did you get it from somewhere?
I Google that. So how can I find an
Okay.
element by CSS class with XPath? That's what I Googled. I did XPath class, and then it tells you how to find it, contains at class, and then you just put the name of the class. And so I use that information in order to kind of hack it together.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a free version way of doing that on your specific website. And I think this would be useful for a lot of people who maybe
Yeah.
don't need something as robust as CheatLayer, but CheatLayer does do a lot more than this, because afterwards you download this as a CSV and then have to import the files into Bubble, whereas CheatLayer will do that for you.
Or we can go back and we can watch Cameron Wilder Booth tell us all about how to use Google APIs. I mean, he used YouTube's as a example, but Google does have an API for Google Sheets. So you could ostensibly go in there with calls and grab it and pull it into your Bubble database.
Yes, yeah, that would work. All right, I thought I would just jump in there and say that.
That's awesome. No, that's
yeah.
amazing. No, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm going to give that a
really cool.
try before I spend another 100. And I think that's something, I mean, it's easy to understand. And I think that's great. I'm going to try that and see how it goes. Thank you. I didn't even know. I had no idea I could do that.
Yeah,
Thank
let
you.
me share that with you. If it's in a table, it's actually way easier. There's actually one called import table, and it will just import a table, whatever table's on the page. So there's only one table in the page. It'll just import all the data automatically.
Okay.
And one question, Justin, is there any way to prevent what happened to us where we were blocked by the website when trying to do this?
Yeah, I think there's actually limits now on Google Sheets for how many of these you can run in one sheet. What I would do is I would build it out one step at a time and not do it all at once. Like, don't populate all of them and then hit enter and then you do 5,000 searches at once. Yeah, it's just maybe as you go along, just one at a time or 10 at a time or 100 at a time. Yeah.
And you do that with the pagination thing that we just talked about with the 4, the 5. You just don't give it all of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
I understand that. That is so interesting. There's so many options out there. When I started looking into scraping, I checked out a million products and I tried a lot of freebies, and they were all okay, some better than others, but there gets to be so many options. I think I spent, more time trying to figure out which ones to try and then watching some of the resources than I spent actually scraping data. Simple is better.
Yeah.
Simple is better. Awesome. Well, I suppose there might be questions for office hours. So let's see, Thomas, did you bring anything for today?
Nope.
Nope, you're just hanging out?
Yep.
Okay. How about you, Jay? Do you have any questions?
Well, I mean, they were large. I was saving up my brain power for understanding CheatLayer, so I don't have a lot, but I do have a question in general about uploading data.
Sure.
So when you upload data, I had that problem where as I uploaded data live, the good data, the real data, if the upload encountered a problem that stopped it, it didn't rewind and erase everything from that sheet. So when I went back to, fix the mistake, re-uploaded the sheet, I ended up with millions of repeats. So my question is, I'm just not clear on how Bubble absorbs data. So later, I've got a bunch of spreadsheets that are missing like the price or whatever, they're missing a piece of information. I want to go back and put that information in. When I do that, do I just have to use the same sheet with that column filled in and re-upload it as a CSV? Or can I do it a more efficient way with just the name and the price without all the other fields, without overwriting anything?
So, okay. So I ran into this so this is something that we pay attention to a lot when we're integrating with like payment systems. And I'm trying to remember the word. The word is actually like, it was the first time I had ever heard of it. And I have a migraine at the moment, so my brain's
Sorry
not
to hear
doing
that.
very well with words. But basically, if you go back to the spreadsheet and you order them the same way that they're ordered, say in your database, and you take the unique IDs from your Bubble database and you put it into the spreadsheet, then you can go in and you can we can figure out how probably not to overwrite things in your database and create duplicates.
Okay.
It's, yeah, that word isn't coming to me, but you just want to make sure that you're not that you're only creating one instance of each of the things.
Yeah.
I think that was like the replace function, right? Because that same thing happened to me a while ago, and I needed to download all the data, get the unique IDs, as you said, and then make sure I was like replacing some or not even, it didn't replace it. It only created the ones that didn't have the unique ID, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a way to do it. You know who actually knows a lot about that? I'm sure maybe Pablo and Justin are good with this as well, but somebody who has spent many, many hours banging his head against a keyboard about it is Juan Vasquez. He's played he's probably the expert on all of Eli's plugins for CSV management with Bubble. So I can ask him if he can join us next week. It might be in one of the evening sessions again. And then, yeah, maybe he'll be able to help. I think he was able to help you the last time, right?
Was that, I don't remember who that was.
Yeah, it was Juan was able to help you. Like there was some data corruption or something happening, like you weren't getting the right values or it wasn't working. And it had to do with the double quotations versus single quotations.
Oh my God.
Remember
Those
that?
quotations, how could I forget? I dealt with that today. And I used what I learned. I just didn't remember where I learned it. That is
Yeah.
fantastic. I knew I got it off office hours.
Yeah, so we'll probably, well, I can ask Juan if he can come on Tuesday or Thursday evening next week and help you with that issue specifically.
If I can get my scraping act together, I'd like to avoid that issue. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that too.
Because if I could see it, I like the idea of doing it in sheets because I can see where the holes are. And then I can try another approach, fix it, and decide what to do with it rather than just have this sheet. I've got a lot of several people helping and doing the spreadsheet type stuff, but I thought it was going well. But then today when I went to upload the first of those sheets, it wasn't so great. There was so many things that didn't match my data. And I was just frustrated, because I wrote clear instructions and gave a key, make it look like this, and it didn't. So I've been up since it's 2 o'clock and it's started at 1. So 4 hours so far today on a little spreadsheet, just cleaning it up. I need to get away from that. That can't continue.
Got it.
I just had to complain a little. Thanks for listening.
That's okay. No, we've all got that going on, I think. Awesome. Let's see, Reece, you're here. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Did you bring us anything for today?
I did. 2 little finicky little problems. First one being, when you click on a menu and you've got it set up to show, like I've got it set up to show a focus group. Mm-hmm. And when you click the same thing that caused the drop down, I want it to go back up. And I've set a workflow to be only when that group focus is visible to make it disappear again. It works sometimes, it doesn't work others.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how to fix it.
I feel your pain. Hang on a second. I know I have worked this out before. Unless Pablo or Justin, if you have it off the top of your head, that's fine too.
I remember we did it together through condition.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where that is. I know it's in one of our.
You can pop into my Lydia's. I put it as the header submenu, and I put a condition on there that does exactly what he wants.
Where,
can
oh,
pop in
where
there.
is it? In Lydiaosa? Okay.
Lydia's IO. Yeah, the one that you put on agency plan. If you just go to the header, you'll see that I have another reusable element, which is the submenu. And inside the submenu, you have a little arrow. And then, yeah, I think I did it. I may have not, now that I come to think of it. But it should be pretty much the same
It's,
thing as
I
a
don't
condition.
know why it's as tricky as it is. It shouldn't be that tricky.
You told me that last time it was a group focus issue in Bubble. They just never figured something out about it.
Okay, so here's the header. And then what I'm looking for?
Give me 1 second as I look at my exactly where you are. It's in the reusable elements section.
Uh-huh.
Go into the submenu. Let's see, it is the
Tile
submenu.
submenu. Okay.
I think it might be that one.
Aha.
Click on
Okay, so in the workflows here is where it's going to be. So
it might be, is this the one with the group focus? Is this the?
yeah, it has a group focus. What are these workflows? Text go to. I don't see it.
Can you click on the reusable again? The section, the reusable menu section. I mean,
Header menu options.
Yeah. Yes, it should be in here. Yep. This is exactly it. Yep.
Okay.
Try
And
the
so-
text or the. Is it not? Maybe I didn't do it there. It's a condition. It's not a workflow.
Oh,
It's
got it.
conditional.
Okay. So here.
Probably the lower ones, yeah.
This icon is pressed in group focus main menu. Is this what you're doing, Reece?
You can preview it. Maybe it'll work.
No, so I'm running it through a workflow.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't think it'll work on the workflow. That's why I did it with conditionals.
Wait, so what is it there? This icon is pressed and is greater than group focus.
I think what I did was I used two different icons. I didn't have it in the same
yeah.
icon. And
Yeah, that's
so
right.
I would hide the one icon when the group focus was visible. And so the click was not on the same icon, it was on a different icon entirely.
Yeah,
Right.
now I remember we did it on Agora. So if you do go on Agora, you'll see it
And
there. We did exactly that. You did that actually.
Yeah, and I think what it is I don't think you even have to have the workflow like to hide the group focus, because the group focus, when you click out of it, will hide itself anyway.
Yeah, but if
So all you
click-
had to do was on that click, you would just hide the icon and show the original icon.
yeah, so I don't have an actual icon there. I've just got like a user bubble in the corner.
Mhm.
So you've only got the one sort of box to click on. There's no changing of icons or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. So you don't want to share your screen, I guess.
Not at this point. No.
Okay, so I'll just open up here. So
But
maybe you can describe to me what it is that.
Yeah, so it's just a group. And when you click on that group, it shows the focus menu. And then I've got another workflow that says that when you click on that group and that group focus is visible, then then hide it instead.
Right. So
on the group. I know that. I know how to fix this bug.
okay.
So
Here,
basically,
you want to share?
yeah, sure. I don't think there's much you have to share, but what you need to do is when the group focus is visible, see, as soon as you click off of the group focus, it disappears before any workflows run. So what actually happens is if you are clicking on a button that's going to hide the group focus, when you click outside, it then hides the group focus. And then that button that is checking whether it's visible or not says, oh, it's not visible.
It's very quick. Yep.
Yeah. So what you actually need to do is just make that button, the button that shows the group focus, make that when group focus is visible, make this not clickable. And then that way they'll go to click on it, but it won't actually do anything. And the group focus will act naturally and we'll close it.
Gotcha. Perfect. All right. I'll give that a go and I'll get back to you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I had, sorry, go ahead.
Nope, you said you had something else. Go for it.
Yeah, just a small one. I've got two groups. One's height is much greater than the other one. I've set it to collapsible so that the group that it's in collapses and reduces the space when it's not visible, but then it disappears and it still remains like the page, the group that it's in is still down at the point where it would be if it was visible.
Is it inside of another group?
Yes. Yeah.
Are there other things that are hidden? Are like HTML things that are below it or maybe have fallen outside? If it overlaps with anything else, even 1 pixel, it won't collapse.
Yeah. So because I'm trying to center align the two groups, one is for one's for mobile view and one's for desktop view. They've both been centered so they are over the top of each other.
Yeah. That when they're over the top of each other, that's what will happen. Yeah.
So how do I put them at the in the same place?
Most of the time you don't need to. You're having one for like one for when you're in desktop mode and one for your mobile mode, right?
Actually, I could just layer the other one directly underneath it, right?
Yes.
And push it up to the top, and then it will collapse it and push it up.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course. What else? Let's see. Anything else, anyone? We're so efficient with the 3 of us on office hours. No. Anything you two want to talk about, Justin or Paula?
No, I think it was good. CheatLayer was good. Pablo?
It's a quiet
Yeah,
night.
no, it was pretty awesome. No, I just want to try it.
Yeah, we'll have fun playing around with it.
Oh.
Cool. Well, if no one has anything else, I mean, I'm happy to just talk bubble whenever, but going once, going twice.
I don't have anything. I'll speak up.
All right. All right. Well, okay, we will be back on Monday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time for office hours episode number 121. If you would like to join us for a complimentary session to see what office hours is all about, please email us at team@CoCreativeNoCode.com and Kim and I will get you some credentials. We'd love to meet you and show you what office hours is all about. Or if you're just ready to pull the trigger, go to CoCreativeNoCode.com and sign up while the prices are so low. We're currently at $49 per month for access to all of our office hours sessions, and that is going to double in the next, I don't know when it's going to double. It could be tonight, it could be next week, who knows? So do it now. If you're going to upgrade now. That's at CoCreativeNoCode.com. Thank you so much, Justin and Pablo. Love having you here. And Callum for saying hello, and Jay and Thomas and Reece for coming in. And I think Brittany was here at the beginning. Brittany, if you have any questions and you just weren't able to stick around, I'll touch base with you in a bit. And thank you as always, Kim, for being here. So I'll see everybody next week.
Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good
Bye.
weekend.
Yes, you
Bye.
too, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you soon.
See you guys. Bye.